Welcome to your last listening lesson, number 10 on sentence completion. Before you start the lesson, you will need to have the following to hand: your training booklet, a pen or pencil, and a rubber. You should follow the lesson in your training booklet. After this lesson, you will have a clear overview of what to expect in the listening question type completing sentences, have learnt tips and strategies on how best to approach the section, and have a chance to practice the question type using real IELTS materials. There are 2 practice tasks in this lesson. The question type here is completing a form. In this example, it's section 3, so up to 4 people talking. You have to complete the sentences in which are the questions with words from the recording, and all the answers are in order. The answers are either words and/or numbers, and you should note the maximum words allowed. Before the recording starts, you'll have 30 seconds to prepare. First of all, what's the topic? Secondly, you need to underline the first hold or key word. Thirdly, you need to know how many questions there are. Fourthly, have a quick look at what you have to do, what sort of questions are they. And lastly, try to predict the answers or the kind of words you will need. You now have 30 seconds to look at questions 27 to 30 in your training booklet. Don't forget to follow the 5 preparation steps. You can start now. Your time is up now. Now you have time to look at the possible answers, which you can read in the back of your training booklet and on this slide. If you need more time, just press pause. Now we'll have a quick look at what to do while you're listening. You need to read, write and listen all at the same time during the recording, which means you need to answer the questions as you listen. There's no time to make notes, and you should write the answers on the question sheet next to the numbers to make it easier to transfer later. Your answers are always in order, so if you miss one, just keep going. And always keep up. Use signpost words such as firstly, however, and additionally underline words and predictions from your preparation. Now listen to the recording and answer the questions in your training booklet. The recording will start automatically.
The other thing I wanted to ask you was, did you find it hard studying with the Open University?
You mean because you're studying on your own most of the time? Well, it took me a while to get used to it. I found I needed to maintain a high level of motivation because it's so different from school. There's no one saying, "Why haven't you written your assignment yet?" and that sort of thing.
Oh, dear.
You'll learn it, Paul. Another thing was that I got very good at time management because I had to fit time for studying round a full-time job.
Well, I'm hoping to change to working part-time, so that'll help.
What makes it easier is that the degree is made up of modules, so you can take time off between them if you need to. It isn't like a traditional 3 or 4 year course where you've got to do the whole thing of it in one go.
Oh, that's good, because I'd like to spend 6 months travelling next year.
It's all right for some. Then, even though you're mostly studying at home, remember you've got tutors to help you, and from time to time there are summer schools. They usually last a week. They're great because you meet all the other people struggling with the same things as you.
Oh.
I've made some really good friends that way.
Sounds good. So how do I apply?
Now we're going to look at what you can do after the listening section. First of all, make sure your answers make sense and guess any missing answers. Don't forget you're not penalised for writing the wrong answer, so please write something in every gap. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers, and I'll tell you when the time is up. You can start now. Your time is up now. After the listening test, you have to transfer your answers to a listening answer sheet in pencil. Your answers can be in capital letters or small letters, and you have to check your spelling. Transfer the words you wrote, don't use any of your own words, check the word limit, and read your answers and check again once you've finished transferring. For this lesson, transfer your answers to the space in your training booklet, and you can take 30 seconds. I'll tell you when your time is up. Your time starts now. Your time is up now. Now let's check your answer with those in the back of your training booklet and on this slide. If you need longer, just press pause. Don't forget these are all the possible answers, and words in brackets are optional. Now you have a chance to practice alone, and after we'll go through the answers together. Go to Lesson 10, Practice 2 in your training booklet. You now have 30 seconds to look at questions 31 to 35 in your training booklet. Don't forget to follow the preparation steps. Your time starts now. Your time is up now. Now listen to the recording and answer the questions in your training booklet. The recording will start automatically.
Okay, so we've been looking at the attitudes of various social and cultural groups towards the management of their personal finances, how important they feel it is to save money, and what they save their money for. One aspect that we haven't yet considered is gender. So if we consider gender issues, we're basically asking whether men and women have different attitudes towards saving money, and whether they save money for different things. Back in 1928, the British writer George Bernard Shaw wrote in his Intelligent Women's Guide to Socialism and Capitalism that a man is supposed to understand politics, economics, and finance, and is therefore unwilling to accept essential instruction. He also said, a woman, having fewer pretensions, is far more willing to learn. Now, though these days people might question a lot of the assumptions contained in those statements, recent research does suggest that there are some quite fundamental differences between men and women in their attitudes to economic matters. Let's look at what men and women actually save for. Research studies of women in North America have found that women are far more likely to save for their children's education, and they are also more likely to save up in order to buy a house one day. The same studies have found that men, on the other hand, tend to save for a car, which, by the way, takes a surprisingly large amount of the household budget in North America. But the other main priority for men when saving money is their retirement. When they're earning, they're far more likely to put money aside for their old age than women are. Now, this is rather disturbing because, in fact, the need for women to save for their old age is far greater than for men. Let's consider this for a moment. To start with, it is a fact that throughout the world, women are likely to live many years longer than men, so they need money to support them during this time. Since women are likely to be the ones left without a partner in old age, they may therefore have to pay for nursing care, because they don't have a spouse to look after them. Furthermore, the high divorce rates in North America are creating a poverty cycle for women. It is the divorced women who will most often have to look after the children, and thus they need more money to look after not just themselves, but others.
You now have 30 seconds to check your answers. You can start now. Your time is up now. For this practice, transfer your answers to the space in your training booklet. You can take 30 seconds. I'll tell you when the time is up. You can start now. Your time is up now. Now let's check your answers with those in your training booklet and on this slide. If you need more time, just press pause. Don't forget, these are all the possible answers. Congratulations, you've now finished the listening lessons. Now you could either do a whole listening test, which